Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster on the World of Marketing. And today is a special day and a special guest, my own best buddy and everyone's best buddy at FWM, Gretchen Upright.
Yay!
Thank you, Gretchen, for participating on the World of Marketing.
Absolutely.
So we were talking about what guests should we get? And I was like, wow, we should talk to Gretchen about building a website. But before we talk about that, how long have you been with me now?
13 and a half years?
13 and a half
October 1st.
years you've been putting
Yes.
up with me.
October 1st, 2007.
And we met, you tell the story.
So my third child, my daughter Elizabeth, started kindergarten in 2007. And I'd been a stay-at-home mom for about 8 years. And it was time for me to go back to work. So I was looking for a job and I worked at Fannie Mae. So one of my
Elizabeth
friends,
is your youngest child. You have
my
two
youngest
older
of
boys.
3. Yep.
Right. And she was just going kindergarten.
Yep. So
And
then
you're looking for a part-time job, something to just do.
a little part-time job that I can do from home, hopefully. So that way I can still be here for the kids when they get home from school. My husband worked at Fannie Mae. I had worked at Fannie Mae previously. They had a company picnic. I saw one of my girlfriends that I used to work with. As you do, you tell everybody, how are you doing? I'm great. I'm looking for a job. This, and this. And my friend Kathleen said, I know a guy. He's looking for writers, for websites. And I said, that does not sound like what I want to do, but fine. It ticks some of those boxes. You work from home. It would be a part-time job. So I sent you an email and you were the antithesis of Fannie Mae. Don't send me a resume. Just tell me how you can help me. Let's go have some lunch. Don't wear a suit. So we did.
Yeah.
And you said, I don't
Sweetwater.
Yes.
That's
Sweetwater
what-
restaurant.
Sweetwater Tavern, which is a great restaurant right off Gallows Road there.
Yep. Northern Virginia.
And you had a big giant hamburger, I remember.
Yep. That was difficult to eat. That was not the best interview lunch choice.
I had a salad.
That was a wiser choice
You
to
did
eat.
You did it, you handled it masterfully, you know.
Thanks.
You got the job. And everybody, I got to tell you something, that Gretchen changed the course of everything. And what I needed was somebody to help me build websites. And back then I did it all. I was doing it all, and except for the writing, which I got help pretty early on. I knew that I needed help writing. So and Mindy, you know, was helping me with writing and getting people, and that was kind of being done, but I was still kind of building the websites, designing them, coding them, and all myself. Yep. And I needed help.
Yep.
Back then.
Yeah, we needed organizational help.
Right, there was no organization. It was a mess. Do you remember how many temper tantrums I had early on that in that? Like, how many times did you have to sit and listen to me go nuts? Well, that's a good thing that was a long time ago.
It was a very long time ago. And that's actually when I think things started to come together, because we had...
What I tasked you, the first thing I said is, we needed project management.
Because we were doing everything over email.
Right. So it was a mess. It was just totally disorganized, which is how so I needed help getting everything organized.
And thank God I know how to do that.
Yeah, and you did.
Because I'm a much better organizer than I am a writer.
Yes. So that's it. So there's a lesson, everybody, about, you know, like, this was the job I was looking for, really, but I found what I really needed. And both of us did.
Yes.
So we both kind of took a chance on it, and it worked out so fantastically because you got us on that. ACE first was the project management system we used for years and years.
Yep.
And you built a system of how we make websites.
Yep. The whole
And
process.
right, got our say to
Yeah, we got
do our
Asia,
designs.
we got Say.
Asia, yes,
Yep.
Asia, and of course, and she was our original kind of coder that took things from me and wouldn't let me do things anymore. That was the beginning of that.
And you let go.
Yeah.
Yep. Then we hired Young.
That's all about
Utility.
delegating, and that's
Yes.
the topic of the newsletter that's going out this month,
Uh-huh.
which I'm happy about, which is all about the team. And that's when I figured out, wow, like getting all these great people doing all the things that I'm not very good at, or these people are better at, I should say.
Right. And it does become too much for any one person to do. You can only do so much all on your own.
Well, it's interesting, just personally, I've been thinking about this. My transition from like doing it all creatively, being inspired creatively to, like for this client or whatever, to pretty much running the company. Like that's what I do now. It's just run this company and do these podcasts. I have nothing to do actually with the, building a website, because you guys just do it just so fantastically. And that's, what I tell clients all the time about is getting your team. You get to a point where you like if you want to scale, if you want to grow, if you want, not everybody wants to do that. They're happy and they're doing their own thing. That's fine. But if you want to grow, you got to get a good team, and it started with you.
I think also identifying what you want to do and your strengths versus weaknesses. So, if you're like, I cannot be organized, then find somebody who loves to create a process, somebody who likes to do
find
the stuff
the
you
yin to
hate.
your yang.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that, I found, and of course, Buster too. Buster's definitely been my whatever, yang or yin, whatever. But you pulled all this together and built, how many websites do you think you built over the years?
I think so. In DSS, we have numbers assigned to projects. And I believe my first project, it's a tie between Injury Trial Lawyer and 2 Keller, both clients who are still with us. Yes. And their project numbers are in like the 150s, 156-ish, and we're in the thousands now. So it's
but that doesn't count redesigns.
No. Those are all new builds, new clients.
Yeah. And those redesigns are practically a new website anyway.
Yep.
But your hand has touched every website that has come through Foster Web Marketing, including our own. And we've got a little picture here for those of you that are watching this of the original FWM website. Gretchen's.
This is from 2007. This is the website I went to when I did my own research, or who's Tom Foster in this Foster Web Marketing business. So yeah, looky there. Analyze my website.
That was our first website, or maybe I did this. This is all me.
Yep.
And this dripping logo. That who knows what this is? Cold Fusion. It's Cold Fusion.
It's Cold Fusion.
Dripping.
That's what happens.
Don't ask questions. So, but we still maintain this original logo style.
Yep.
But
Benji as well.
Fun. What? Benji.
Benji.
Of course. Great Legal Marketing. There's Benji, the superhero, Ben Glass. And we always have our analysis here. It's too bad that we were talking about this earlier, we can't show this, which was a cool little animation that I had made that I'd spent who knows how long trying to make this little, because Flash doesn't exist anymore. Nope. And you can't. Too bad. Exactly. It's like this cool little monitor keyboard robot thing that opened up. I loved it. Anyway, but
Lovely
look,
3
we've
columns.
got the 3-column, the holy grail of design back then. I mean, that was if you could do that, and like that was kind of my thing, is like I was able to do that, and that was the thing to have then. And look at all this, all of our clients were linked from our homepage. You know, this was a big thing. You could see the keyword in here.
Yep.
And here's our DUI book that we had with
Ron Kirby.
yeah, Kirby, my buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
And look how long it is.
That's all it was. The big link wheel.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's funny.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Now look how far we've come. And I remember when we had to kind of shut that whole link wheel down, and we got, Ben got mad, but that was the better thing and ended up working out better for everybody. Remember all that? Anyway, so let's talk about websites. I have some questions that have been prepared for me by my team for you that you have looked at. We kind of talked about, it's funny looking at that website, like what are the changes from then, just in terms of FWM. Look at our site now. I mean,
there was no mobile sites back then.
Yeah,
mobile sites did not exist. There was no mobile internet. So that was not even a concern.
What do we have then? Did we have the flip phones then? We can't remember. We had
I think the slide ups with the keyboards.
Right.
Yeah.
Like maybe we were at that point.
And the AAAA and the BBBBB. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So we've come a long way. Now we have other things that we have to consider when it comes to web marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got phones, you've got small phones, big phones, phablets, tablets, desktops, enormous TV screens. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that you have to account for now.
So when Jamie was talking to Rem's group the other night, he was, kind of talking about, the web, the changes that Google are about to make. Everything's about mobile now, and mobile has surpassed desktop. And we're sitting here, we look at this on a desktop, but we really need to, and we do when we're designing, and you have to look at it from a mobile perspective.
Yep.
So you have to have a website that's designed with that in mind, and like you said, that can go on anything, because people are going to look you up. I mean, that's the primary, most important reason for your website, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're talking to somebody and they have a problem. Somebody recommends you, and then they have their phone, they have their tablet, they have whatever is handy, and they're going to jump on there. Instant gratification over, to get this question answered.
Well, that's what you do. And like you're well known in the company for being that researcher that we need. If we're like, here, find out something about this person. Gretchen is very good at finding out all kinds. And where is she going? She's on the web looking around. That's where you get information. And that's obviously so, but a lot of people look at their website like it's all about search and it's all about being on page one. And that to me is secondary. I think you'll agree with that. And so like so what we're going to talk about really is the website in terms of how people that are going to it, how the web how it responds, right?
Yep.
So what are some of the common biggest mistakes that you see people keep making these days?
So you mentioned the mobile,
but there's
mobile
another
first.
big one. Yes.
Yep. Google's thinking of mobile first. Uploading images, make sure they aren't enormous. Use Pixlr, which is pixlr.com, to resize them. That's a free online photo editor. And then use tiny PNG, which is tinypng.com, to compress the images, because you're keeping in mind that people are using their phones, and if they're on Wi-Fi, they're going to have a different experience than if they're off of Wi-Fi and they have to upload your site. If it takes too long, it's not a good experience, and Google frowns upon that because Google's a business. Google wants people to be happy with the results that they provided. So think about it as just the end user's experience in using your website. Include alt text on your images. You have people who are searching images. You've got to think of all these different ways people are looking at you. People have screen readers. All that information is good. And then when you're adding images to content, it's all about images. Make sure that they're either right or left. Don't fill the top part of your content with an image, because then people have to scroll through it. People will scroll with Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, endless scroll. I mean, not as bad as our our old site, but as they're getting more information, they just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until they find what they want.
Yeah, if it's interesting and
exactly
informative, or they're captivated by it.
They're captivated and they have a question in their head. And once they get to the section that answers their question, or they think is going to answer their question, they're going to click and go to the next page. And that's what you want people to do. So it's always, when you're updating your site, is looking at it from the perspective of your visitor. I use my mom as my target audience because she is very web savvy, but does she know all the things? So it's kind of like the lowest common denominator of how would my mom interact with this. And I will call her up and I'll say, so mom, if you saw this X, Y, or Z hamburger menu, which is the 3 lines menu on a mobile site, do you know what to do with this? Do you understand that if you click on the logo, you're going to go to the home page? And some of that is known and some of it's not. So just thinking of how people are using your website and not making assumptions.
That's our secret, everybody. She just
Told
us. Gretchen's mom.
Right.
She's our tester.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I also have the benefit of having 20-somethings. So
but that's true. But you said a whole lot. So let's go back and talk about those things a little bit, because first, mobile, 100%. Then I want to reiterate that you have to look, everybody that's listening to this, you have to look at your own website through your phone.
Yes.
Or tablet, or your phone, most importantly, because that's what your potential clients or patients or customers or whatever, that's how they see you. And are you happy with that representation? How does that look? Because that is the dominant thing. So that's, and how do you impact that? Gretchen, it's all about images now. It's all about images and video. Mm-hmm. It's I would say images, video, and content in that order, in terms of what people want. I think that people want images most important. That's what will capture them the longest. And so what you're saying, because we give people power in DSS to update their own content on their website. So they're free to do what they want. We give them a lot of access to mess it up. And that's what you're saying, is that you've got to before you upload images, first of all, don't grab them from Google or wherever and reuse them. Make sure that you're using ones that because they'll get you. And you'll find yourself months later, you added an image and you got a bunch of attention on it, and you're on page 1 for it, and there's an image there, and next thing you know, you get Getty Images lawyer sending you a bill for $3,000. I've seen it happen. We've seen it, right?
Definitely. Make sure your images are royalty free, or that you have an account. We have Adobe stock images. You can have Shutterstock. You can have big image. There's a bunch of different services out there. You can either set up an account to get so many credits per images per month, if that's what you envision. But definitely do not go to Google and just say, oh, I'm going to take this one. No, they will hunt you down.
Don't grab them from other websites.
Nope.
Even using your own, make it and a lot of you that are listening to this, your employees might be doing this for you. Right. You got to make sure that they're not doing it. So, you're like, hey, Sally, my new person, I need you to add this to DSS, train her up, and make sure that she's not making these mistakes.
Yep. And in the show notes, we can include a list of free websites, images. They're not the greatest.
Yeah, we'll put them in.
It's
We'll
free,
put them
but
in the notes here.
they're options. They're
Cut
royalty
this
free.
out. So we'll make sure that Thomas does that. Right, Thomas? Yes, Tom. Thanks, buddy. All right. So the other thing is, I'm glad. So we'll put the notes about the different websites that they can compress the images before they put up. Alt text, that's really important. And also helps with SEO,
Yes.
and so you want to just, in that alt text, you want to just explain what the image is.
Exactly.
Just say it out. Don't put a bunch of keywords in there.
Correct.
Use keywords in there smartly, right?
Right.
Like use it in the text.
Right. So don't say John Smith podiatry, or John Smith attorney law office. If it's a picture of a pothole, describe it.
Right.
It's a picture of a pothole.
Say, like, here's the pothole that such and such attorney was using in his, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, explain what it is. Anyway, so that was good stuff on image, and that's really important to everybody. I mean, like, because images are a foundation of your design, along with content. Okay, so here's another question for you. What is the difference between a UX and a UI? That's a good question, because I was curious about that. So why don't you explain that to us, please?
So UI is the user interface, and that's the visual display of a website. So it's the colors, the fonts, the layout, the pictures. The user experience is how something works. And that's not limited to websites. That can be a tea kettle. That can be a coffee mug. It's how things work, both online and in person. And on a website, it's buttons that look like buttons, links that look like links, forms that work as you expect them to. Your goal is not to frustrate people. Your goal is to be easy, breezy. Let people call you, contact you, download things, make sure everything works as easy as possible. Because when people feel frustrated, they're leaving you. You never get another chance.
That is the conversion part of the experience. So we all know that, well, not everybody does, but you and I do. There's three experiences: attract, convert, retain. Attract is everything that you're doing online to bring traffic, people, customers, clients, patients to your website. And that has more to do with content and more to do with code, more to do with publishing sources than it has to do with the look of the website. That's the look of the website comes in with conversion.
Yep.
Now, conversion helps with traffic, but that's, that's where this is so important. And I'm glad to talk about this, because it's, a lot of people, including myself, have used these interchangeably, like they're the same thing, right. UX and UI, but they are different things. But they work together. So
they do. Yeah.
The
so
interface, right.
One of the things I talked initially when I said about the user interface, we've had a lot of questions from clients about fonts, because people hear the word, it's a serif font, it's a sans serif font. What's the difference? It's the little tails and feet on a font. That is a serif. The text without those tails and feet are called sans serif. Typically, headlines have those. It gives them more weight. They're bigger. They're easier to read with those tails and feet. Then with your body content, we do sans serif fonts, because people, like we said, are on their mobile phone. They need it to be line heights to be good space, font sizes to be good space, and easy to read. So Times New Roman looks great when you're reading a book. Looks terrible on a website because it's too many extra stuff. So it's just little things like that.
That is a huge thing though. Like, so that's science, everybody. Like, that's serious. Like, everybody needs to understand that, because what happens is that you're looking at something on your desktop that you like because you're looking on a desktop. What Gretchen is saying is huge, and that everybody needs to understand this, is that there's a different font that looks better on mobile. So you have to have a different experience. It's just one of the things, a little thing, but a big thing. That's mind blowing. I didn't even think about that, by the way,
Yeah.
because like how many times, we're like, I love this font, like some people, Jim Keller, right? Jim Keller, like, I want this font. I love this font. I remember this conversation with him, about fonts. And you're like, why do you care about fonts? But it is important, like I want it to look like this because I like this look.
Yep.
Well, that's great when you're looking at it, as you say, in a book or reading, something on paper or whatever, or even on the desktop. But on mobile, when you're like looking at a little thing, yeah, you want it to be very
readable,
easy to read. It's a different thing. That's fascinating, and something I bet you a bunch of people that are listening never thought of that before.
And you also have to have your fonts readily available. So we use Google fonts because they are readily available on everybody's
And what does that
machine.
mean to use Google fonts? Like,
So Google provides font styles that are available across the web. So that way you're not relying.
Back in the old days, we would have to download the fonts to our computers to be able to display them. So remember those days, some of you.
And we can do that, but it's heavy. And what are we all about now? We're about fast. We want things to be super, super fast. Page speed.
Right. So. And like we were talking about Google, really, you're right. Google cares about the user experience, and that's what we're going to talk about. And really what we're saying, you want to cooperate with Google. Like we joke and tease, about Google being the overlord, and it is, but you need to cooperate because it is the biggest search engine, and it does provide you with a stream of business, and you got, and what they ask you to do isn't unreasonable, because it's all about making the user experience better. And so it forces really shitty websites to get better.
Yep.
That's really it. And they should be anyway. It's like clean up your mess.
Yep.
And you need to, you can't be driving that old car around anymore like that. Like you need to get a new one. And it's just the way it works. And here we are on the web, and that same kind of that thing where we've got to be more responsible. So user experience is how somebody responds to a particular web page, right? Is that
yes?
And so that's where we're talking about, is there a phone number readily? Because you're right. I mean, like, ultimately the goal of the website is to answer someone's question that's going there. Whether that's how do I, and the most common one is, how do I contact you? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, once they're there and they like what you had to say and they feel that you can help them, yeah, they're going to contact you. And
but the highest,
the number one thing is you want them to
website are for people that know your name or your brand already and are coming there to qualify or to justify, right? Or to, my friend said, Gretchen told me to come here, like, now I'm making, right? It's not Google. My point is, it's not the search engine that's getting you the thousands initially. It's your own people that know you. So that's how you need to respond. And especially mobilely, you need to have easy phone number.
Click to call.
Right? Click to call, comments or chat if that's what you prefer. Can you text with people?
Mhm.
Can you chat with people through your through your mobile website? These are things that you gotta. Do the forms work? Are your offers displaying properly? Are they janked out? All that stuff, right?
Yep. And are you asking for too much information? So somebody has come to your website, you asking them to fill out a form. Don't ask for things you don't absolutely need to call them back. So name, email, phone number. Don't ask for their address unless it's an offer that you're actually snail mailing to them. But if it's an instant download, again, name, email. It's all you need. You're on a first date with these people. They're not going to give you a lot of information. So get the bare minimum that you need to move forward.
Yeah. I mean, what is the confused mind does not buy.
Correct. Yep.
So you've got on here, like what you were just talking about, some of the other thing is making it very easy to read, right? So you want to reduce the color, make it more open. You don't want you want it to be just a flow, and everybody needs to go have their own experience. Go look at your own website. If you're looking at other websites already, everybody is. Think about ones that you enjoy the experience,
right?
And you're like, wow, this is great. This is, and how can I take from this and put it into my own website if I haven't already, and go to your web, your web developer, whoever your partner is, and say, I want this. I want it to be like this, like whatever it is. I mean, like, because I do that all the time, right? I go to you, I'm like, this is fantastic, the way that this is, or you show me. That's usually the case. I'll be like, I want to do this. And you'll be like, well, let's not do it your way. Let's do it this way.
We'll take that idea and make it better. Yep.
And that, by the way, we're coming out with some cool stuff on FWM whenever we whenever we get a chance to get it done, because we're very busy with all the upgrades and new designs in production right now.
Yep.
How many do we have in production right now?
72.
72, folks. That's a busy factory churning out websites. Everybody's wondering, which number am I?
We're not churning. We're creatively creating.
That's right. We're not churning. We're lovingly.
We're lovingly creating. Yes.
Hitting.
They are my children.
Right. That's right. Exactly. So let's talk about. Yeah. Let's get back to this. Let's talk about what has evolved over the years. Like what. Some interesting things that were such a big deal back then, or not so much now. So what is?
So back in the day, and a little bit still today, we have above the fold items, and that's still true. We do have a fold. It varies because again, we're looking at websites on different viewports, so a smaller phone versus a larger desktop, but your most important things need to be visible initially. So, but it does not mean that people aren't going to scroll. If they like what they see, they understand what you do. So we're telling a story. This is me. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is, the testimonials. Other people have said great things about me that I help them with case or a problem similar to yours. And then people, I think the second most visible pages on most websites are bio pages, because they want to see who they will be working with.
Who you are.
Exactly.
They want to see who they're going to work with.
Yes. And that's where you start to make connections, that you are an Eagle Scout. Hey, my son's an Eagle Scout. You are in the Marines.
Guitar.
My dad's in the Marines. Yeah. Just
right.
Making those connections so that people.
I went to JMU. My kids went to JMU. Right. Yes.
Exactly. Yep. Making those connections. Images, social, again, with social media.
Yeah. It's not your CV.
No.
Lawyers. It's not your CV like that. You can put that down on the bottom. But regular people, that's just a jumble of words. And most of them are Latin that people don't know. Right. So that's other for other lawyers, but for the regular person, they want to know about you
Yes, exactly. And then you want to see
and your
pictures.
successes
Mm-hmm.
and your reviews and testimonials.
Yep. Yep.
Now we're kind of like talking about, and I'm going to veer off topic here a little bit, but we're talking about really that's kind of the homepage,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like, and that's obviously the most visited page and the most important page. But when you take the numbers that go to the homepage and then you compare them to the numbers that go to all the other pages,
Right.
all the other pages win.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to consider that too in your design.
Yes.
And that's a different experience on those other pages than the homepage and what we we're just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So every
Right?
time somebody goes to a search engine, they are asking a question. And if you're the one who answers the question best, you will be on page 1. So if you are writing about bunions, what do people ask about bunions in your area? Bunions in Texas may be different than bunions in Michigan because it's a warmer weather climate. And so they're more concerned about wearing, flip-flops or sandals And so you've got to think about the treatments, what people are looking for in your area, what makes your perfect client, perfect patient happy and answering all the questions. So as you Google things and you get those little boxes that say other questions people have asked, just keeping that in mind as you're creating your content and making it better. And if you can't make it better, find something else to write about.
And the best way to do this, everybody that has their business knows the top questions that their particular client, patient,
Right.
customer asks of them.
Yes.
And that's where you start here, is really just creating a library on your website answering those questions, because those are your perfect, those are the kind of people that you want to work with.
Yep.
And those are the ones that they will go out and ask the questions over and over again. So,
and use the words that people are using before
Right.
you educate them about the words they should be using. I think one of our podiatry clients got thousands and thousands of visitors on the question of, what is this bump on my pinky toe?
Yeah.
That is not a podiatry. Nothing at all. But then you educate them about what the problem could be and what the solutions are. And you become the one who's answered that question the best.
And that's, and then they come to the website, they come to that particular page that answers the question they've asked. And so that has to be a good user experience for them. And so it's not just the homepage that you need to think about. It's all these other pages. Yep. And all the other pages have a different job to do. And have to have a certain UI and a certain UX. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we were talking about things that have evolved. Another things we were talking about clicks versus scroll. Mm-hmm. Another thing is images. We beat on images big time. Can't say enough about the changes that have happened. And now you've really got to be careful about it. And just do the right attributions that you need to. Yep.
And just the focus also with social media, with Instagram, with Facebook, everything is picture driven. So, stock photos have a place, but if you have pictures of people that you have helped, if you have pictures of your staff, if you've got the pictures of the actual accident that your client was in, that sets you apart from other people.
Yeah. And then the other big one is video.
Yep.
Like video. Wow. We had video early on. So for us, video has always been a part of our websites. Certainly not on that one. That was
not on that one.
Yep. I think probably the next iteration, which was a big step. We need to find that version on the way back of the one when we transitioned to the video, the dark, the video and the 3 buttons, because I think that was the best.
Yeah.
the best one.
Well, just again with social media, you've got IG Reels, you've got Facebook Lives, you've got
Yeah.
TikTok, you've got YouTube, the granddaddy of them all. But
YouTube.
yeah, everybody shoot a video, 30-second video, answer people's
It's
questions.
so easy to do it. You can shoot. I mean, like you can make a movie on your phone. I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah.
so it's so easy to do it,
Yep.
and you should do it. Your customers, your clients, your patients want it. And like it's just something that you should do, and it will help you across the board. It helps with getting traffic. It also helps with conversion.
Mhm,
That.
exactly.
So if you're not doing it, get on pace with doing it. If you need help, we're happy to help you or whatever. Um, and if you're kind of doing it, do it better.
Exactly.
That's what I always say. Even us, like we're like, I'm always, we have to do more video. We have to do more video. We don't do enough video ourselves.
Yep. And be interesting,
Yeah.
offer value, answer people's questions, follow
Be
people.
funny.
Yes, be
What are you
funny.
doing?
And broaden your horizons. Don't just follow people who are exactly like you. Follow other businesses, follow other people in other countries that are doing things differently, because you're going to get ideas from them. Different they could still be lawyers, but they're a different type of lawyer. They're an entertainment lawyer, they're a copyright lawyer. And just see how people are doing it. Get out of your comfort zone and see what people are doing.
That is great advice. That's great advice. And actually, like, didn't they just change the law in Texas where you can be? Didn't you just we just talk about that where you can have
DBAs.
What's that?
DBAs, doing business as is.
Yes. So they can. So now you can be like the probate firm, instead of like the law firm of Tom Foster or whatever. And so that is, look out there what's going on, and don't only be just in the lawyer world or the podiatry world. Go out there and see what other businesses are doing, and or in terms of their websites, in terms of their mobile sites and the mobile experience. I always bring back from other industries, nothing to do with us, and say, look at that, that's pretty cool. Like, look what they did. And that's what I was going to talk about, is the things that we have coming after. Well, we're one of the projects in those 72 FWIMS, and what we're going to be. What is that? What do we call it? The web calculator. What is that? We're calling
website design calculator. Yep.
The website design calculator. So that's something that we're coming out with. That'll be cool. That'll be on our website where you can plug in your dream. Mm-hmm. Like building a car.
Yep.
You'll be able to build a website and get a cost. So that's cool.
Dreams. Yep.
So that's so that's us like pressing the envelope of, having cool stuff on the website. We're always trying to add our own cool element for our own purposes, for getting better clients, like the ones listening to this World of Marketing podcast, which has been fantastic with my buddy Gretchen. So Gretch, thank you very much for joining me today and talking about this stuff, about how to make a great website. And of course, we were very general, hit a couple of really important points, like, some things. By the way, we can't finish this without saying that, hey, content is still king. And so we did bring up content. We did say that, and that is still the case. Like, don't forget your good content. If you need any help with any of this, Gretchen is here to help you.
Exactly.
And now she's got help. We're getting more help. We're growing.
We are. And they're
And
still knitting.
Oh, wow, you're knitting the whole time. Good for you. Like, I should start playing the guitar while I'm on calls.
Mine's quieter.
I know. I can't quite figure out how to do that without. Anyway.
But at least you had Henry back there.
Yep, Henry was enjoying the show. Everybody, Henry the pug is over there. Yes, he is alive. Breathing. Anyway, well, great to have you. Thank you so much, everybody. Gretchen Upright, my buddy, who's just been fantastic and fantastic work for all our clients and for me. And you're just a wonderful person, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And the fact that Elizabeth, who we said that was in kindergarten when she first started, is now down at William and Mary.
Yep, finished her freshman year at William and Mary.
Yeah.
Yep.
So bang.
Yeah.
Her whole life.
Go Tribe.
Well, her whole youth, I should say. But anyway. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Tom Foster on the World of Marketing with Gretchen Upright. Well, she runs everything, so I don't even know what your official title is. What is it? Who's your official title?
Chief Business Development Officer. Yeah. Jack of all trades. The doer of all the things.
All right. We'll see you next time on the World of Marketing. Take care, everybody.